Hello, listeners. Welcome to the world of lighting. Today, I'll not be speaking about or discussing anything regarding physiology, though there can be some of the part in my discussion or this uh, session of mine. My topic today is we are living in the world of LEDs. LEDs are good, they are very flexible, they have given us lot many amount of applications and innovations to our industry, to the building industry, to the landscape industry and all related industry. No wonders LEDs are doing great. However, because of LEDs, LEDs here I am referring to the LEDs which we are using for our residential purpose, that is for our homes, houses and our offices, also for our workplaces like um, healthcare units, clinics, etc. Not retail. Retail is not referred over here, or the landscape or the facades or the street lights. So primarily indoor, and in indoor it is for offices, residences, healthcare units and clinics, etc. LED has changed the DNA of the lighting industry. Okay? The lighting was a form of heat energy till fluorescents, because we had material light, fluorescents, incandescent, IRC lamps, mercury, all gas-based lamps. LED is not a gas-based, everyone knows about it. So the DNA had changed. It is more of the electromagnetic wave from PN junction, and we use silicon and other material. Now, the topic here is the mystery of LEDs and the forgotten world of fluorescents and the incandescent lamps. When LEDs from mid and low price range claim to have 50,000 burning hours, have you ever analyzed that either the driver or the LED, when it fail here I am defining like LEDs from white or warm white turning to pale, they flicker, or they are non-functional at about say 20,000 burning hours. Okay, so if they fail and they are not claiming to live on to that expectation, what are we doing? We go to the market, and what happens then? So when the purchaser approaches the seller claiming the warranty and the commitment and the relation, so in 50% of the cases worldwide here I'm referring to, right, when I go to a shop and he tells me, okay, this LED has failed and I'm going to change it. Maybe 50% of the cases like that, or in offices when the PMC is involved, architects are involved, the big corporates are involved, and they go by some rules that you have to give us the warranty and you will take care of the maintenance purpose, etc. 50% of the cases they get back what was committed. Now, bigger world of 50% which is left. So what happens, and what is happening between us? So the seller, before making the sales, conveys to the purchaser that since the LED is of low quality, boss, so it might fail, and because this is of say 100 rupees and the better version is 200 and the best version is 500, so what are you going to do? I have observed, and I am sure you all have witnessed and experienced it. The purchaser immediately tells, "Arey sir, I'm gonna just replace this LED 3 times. Even then, it is going to be cheaper for me." Hello, this was not there when we were doing fluorescents. So the customer weighs the price of the low priced LED and calculates that since the lower version and the mid version are 3 times cheaper, so even if I replace it 2 times, say conservatively, I still saved money. So this was whose fault? Purchasers, sellers, influencers, or it was manufacturer fault? Whose? Influencer, I am saying specifiers. So second scenario, the LED world is progressing so fast that the respective components are unavailable after certain months or years. So when we arrive and we go to these sellers, they tell us that, because of the components have changed, because the size have changed, efficacy has increased, so it is better for you, so everything has changed, so now that component is not available. However, I'm going to give you or replace, probably a free of cost or with some minimal charge, your luminaires. So in these scenarios, what happens, that if I have bought say 50 luminaires of 10 watts, and after say 2 years I have to replace 20 luminaires. So with the higher efficacy, those 20 luminaires will look more starry, more bright as compared to these ones. Of course, there will be some kind of depreciation, but boss, what's happening? Will we like it? Are we going to do it? Or even if he says, oh, I'm going to give you a free of cost, but the size of the luminaire has changed, but still the efficacy has increased, so you will be benefited out of it. But are we still able to do that? Play with our ceiling, civil, electrical? Probably not. Third scenario, the world of electronics is so interdependent that the components are vanishing very fast depending upon the new, creative, out of the world demands, and of course this push and pull sales. Maybe the fourth scenario, the reseller or the seller or the manufacturer have already shut their businesses because of any reasons, or too competitive or fierce competition which is happening worldwide. We know that and we are experiencing it. So what has happened to LED? What has happened to that? Oh, they are, we do cost benefit analysis, their longevity is high, we are giving back to the circular economy. Hello, where is the circular economy? No, it's a landfill. Apart from this, bitter fact is no one over the past 1 decade have seen 50,000 burning hours of the product which he or she would have bought and might still be using that. I doubt. But if you go back in probably between era of 2000 to 2010, yes, one tube light and one patti or probably 2x2 luminaire was still there, and we used to change only the fluorescents and the driver or the ballast, right? So where are we? What are we doing? Do we even know what are we doing? So dear all, my comparison will be that let's compare this scenario with the scenario of year between 2000 to 2010, when we were in the world of fluorescents. The Lumilux, many of you would know from Osram, the 36 watt tube light, and True Light from Philips, or even T5, the fluorescents used to have this burning life hours of say 30,000 burning hours with 90 lumen per watt, good efficacy, which even in LEDs, delivered lumen is not more than 90 or 100 or probably 80 lumen per watt. The best of the companies are giving 120, but again they are very expensive. Who are buying it? Very few of them, or us. So which exactly we are using nowadays with LEDs. The fluorescents were so easy to recycle. They had good UV in them. They had a better version of balancing luminance and illuminance, the factors of luminance and illuminance, whereas LED waste is so I would say carcinogenous and landfilling as against those fluorescents, and also it is not solving the purpose of circular economy. LED are giving us migraines, people know about it, right? And retinal fatigue and many other disorders. Nevertheless, LEDs have far more advantages as compared to fluorescents and incandescent. No one is debating on that. But that is on mathematical version and some creative applications, probably paucity of your spaces. Yeah, it has advantages. However, my point is that we still have places where we can use fluorescents and incandescent lamps, which are very beneficial for human physiology and circular economy. We need to balance the demand and the designs between LED, fluorescents, and incandescent lamps. No one is going to be murdered. No one should be ashamed of specifying the combination of these LED, fluorescents, and incandescent. Let's stir the history, our present, and the future with respect to circular economy, physiology, and the scenario. There can be long, incessant debate or discussion on this. Since we all have paucity of time, and I also have the paucity of time, so my message is very clear to provoke you, to trigger your brains, to stir your brains. Why not? I might have missed out many points because of this time, but I am convinced to the core that fluorescents and incandescent have to come back to our office and residential sector from the specifiers. Friends, I don't know whom I'm reaching to, but give a thought on it, spend some time on it, and see we can do wonders for our generations, circular economy, as well as our physiology. Thank you. Stay tuned.